Alright everybody, welcome to episode 5 of Dream of the Week, which I'm gonna call the Dream Team. My name is Alexander, this is Dreamwalker Memoirs, and let's begin with the dream.
My recall of the dream begins as I arrive at a friend's house. Several of my friends are here engaged in a round of Magic the Gathering, a collectible card game where we play as wizards who duel it out using spells, creatures, and artifacts. I start to join my friends, but I soon realize it's growing late, and they've already played many rounds tonight. Plus, I don't really feel like playing a lot of Magic right now, so I walk away from the table and begin to leave. I briefly speak with one of my friends before I go. It's an odd conversation where he wants to tell me a story about a ghost of a ghost, as if a ghost died and became another ghost. But he never really tells me the story and end up leaving. I get in my car and drive away, down the road. Yet I veer off of it and into the woods nearby after driving for a bit. I lose control for a moment. I soon regain it, however, and feel a heightened command of the car, which can now fly. So I fly the car upward and over the forest, seeing the trees spreading out below me. And then I fly towards this enormous cathedral, which reminds me of a church I used to attend as a child with my grandparents. Then I fly into the city beyond. And now, in the midst of this sprawling metropolis, the dream shifts focus. I am now a superhero, and I'm going around the city looking for members of my former team, so I can recruit them for a new mission. I recall gathering various people, some with unusual or unknown powers. Others have powers that are in remission and are just returning to them. For example, one of them is a teenage boy who can make his drawings come to life. Another is an actress that we recruit in the middle of her stage drama. Then there's one ex-hero who has had his powers reversed on him, and he's somehow been turned into a newspaper, which we take with us in the hopes of curing him. After dealing with a few more of these, the dream ends and I awaken.
Now, let's talk about this thing a bit. If you've been watching this series, you might remember a previous episode that I called Lord of the Dreams, and if you saw that, you'll know that I do have a lot of what you might call nerdier elements show up in my dreams. In this one, we see that I open up the dream playing Magic the Gathering. Magic the Gathering and other games like that have been a part of my consciousness since around the time I was in high school, and I played it a lot. I still play it occasionally with a group of friends, never really got into doing it competitively or anything like that. But you might be wondering what this means in a dream. Now, some people say that games represent a way of looking at life. It's possible that I could read Magic the Gathering in my dreams as being a kind of competitive but as well social way of looking at life. The standard, maybe, competition of the rat race. Everyone has to kind of fight it out till there's only one man standing. That kind of thing. Is that the truth? I don't know. But either way, in this dream, I don't spend much time dealing with that. I don't really want to play that game. I enjoyed enough in my waking hours. But clearly here, I found better things to do. So I started to walk out. And as I walk out, there's that element of my friend. I've decided at this point that my friends in these dreams probably represent different parts of myself. And this friend here could represent various different aspects of me. He has his different sides, so do I. But I don't deal with him too much. He tells me this story of the ghost of a ghost. Now that's a weird little element, and sometimes there are weird little blurbs of dialogue that show up in dreams that don't necessarily make all that much sense from a conscious mind level. And basically the way it went in this dream is I didn't spend much time talking to him about this. He never really gave me the full story, but they say in books on the universal language of mind from the School of Metaphysics that a ghost represents what you'd call an inner level body. You know, like the astral body, the etheric body, etc. So the ghost of a ghost. Well, gets me thinking. Perhaps there's many levels of reality. When we die in the physical, we enter what you might call our energetic, our astral bodies. What happens when that dies? Well, it's like an onion. You keep shedding different layers of it. Keep shedding layer and a layer and a layer till you're a more refined, purified being. The ghost of a ghost would represent a deeper inner level body, perhaps. The journey across the forest it feels somewhat like astral projection would feel like, though I'm driving in my car. It feels like what a lucid dream would feel like, though I'm not quite there, I'm not quite lucid, but it does represent a shift in consciousness. A shift in consciousness from this ordinary dream of being in this house, this kind of comfortable state of mind that I got used to in my youth from gaming that would bring me a bit of relief from the tedium of life. But I'm exiting this comfortable state of mind, zooming out past the subconscious of the forest, noticing this holy, divine, religious state of mind that I'm passing by, but I'm not focusing on that right now. I'm descending into this beautiful metropolis, this city, where I experience this next part of the dream. The city can be seen as a state of consciousness where various parts of ourselves converge. It's not just limited to your local mind, but to a great many parts of your being that don't necessarily play much of a role in your waking life. And here, a neat little story plays out with the superheroes. I'm basically gathering my team together. And if we look at people and dreams as all representing different parts of ourselves, then this team that I'm gathering, an old team of people I used to know, that used to work with me, are different aspects of myself, all kind of that I'm drawing together to merge with me, to become a part of the way I do things, the way I see the world. But they're superheroes. What's that mean? Like I said before, I do often dream about superheroes. It's a fairly common occurrence for me to do so. A part of this is due to the fact that I grew up reading a lot of comic books. Some of my favorites back in the day were the X-Men, the Avengers, and other titles like that. Wolverine was probably my favorite character. I enjoyed Spider-Man, and yeah, some of the DC stuff like Batman and Superman occasionally too. As you can see, I'm actually even wearing a Captain America t-shirt today. Happy 4th of July, everyone. But, what's superhero mean? To me, it represents a part of myself that's super, that's extraordinary, that has abilities and a mindset that transcends ordinary thinking. I think when an aspect of mine shows up as a type of superhero, that's an indication to look at that dream closely, that this isn't just an ordinary personality aspect of mine, but it represents abilities, because that's what defines a superhero, is the abilities they have, the powers they utilize. So, I think these represent different powers, some of them latent and some of them on the surface that I'm bringing together to create something beautiful. And these people each have different abilities. Some of them aren't so clear, but they're definitely there. Like, for example, the ones I mentioned in the dream synopsis. First off, we get the guy that turned into a newspaper. That one is a bit puzzling. That might represent a part of me that I haven't quite unlocked yet, that might have something to do with the written arts, with communication. In fact, all of them have a bit to do with communication if you look at it. The newspaper man, who maybe there's some part of him that I still have to unlock, that a part of me that I still have to heal and bring to the surface in order for him to become a full manifested person. I've mentioned in other episodes of this that I am a writer, that I'm working on my writing abilities, that I'm working on putting myself out there more. And also the actress, who is a superhero as well. This actress would also represent communication abilities, the ability to present myself, to put on a show, to entertain, as well as to educate at the same time. And we get the young man who's doing artwork, who can bring his artwork to life with a thought. Clearly, this does represent a type of creativity, visualization abilities, maybe something else. The ability to truly create something and make it alive. I can see where this is going, and maybe you can too. So I think this dream is about my own creativity. It's about bringing in you could call them superheroic abilities of creation, bringing them together and creating what you'd call a team, a dream team. A team that brings that stuff from our subconscious into the conscious, that brings the dreams to reality. Represents a means of communicating with the people. With you people. That's why I'm sharing this dream. So there we have it, the conclusion of the latest episode of Dream of the Week. Stay tuned next week for more fascinating tales of dreaming, spirituality, and the vast journeys into the subconscious. Goodbye, my friends. Take care.